What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. Continuing our coverage of NBA Summer League, we have day 4. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all. The Celtics and Lakers are just wrapping up here, but you know what? It's fine. My spreadsheet will update automatically. It'll be cool. Where do we want to start? Let's start out here with the Miami Heat, who beat the shit out of OKC in this one. I'm going to be honest with you. Didn't really tune in for too much of Summer League today. I had a little bit of it in the background, but I'm not going to pretend like I was watching it like super closely. I was watching a couple players in particular to see some things, but I'm going to rely on all my sweats out there. That's you guys. It's that point of the season now where views are down on the channel, and I'm doing this for the sweats right now. So I need all you basketball sweats to come in and fill in my gaps for me while I'm doing stuff for the team I'm working for. But AJ Mitchell, another good game, like just another efficient game. They didn't win, so obviously it wasn't that great at the end of the day. They kind of got smoked, but like interesting nonetheless. Dylan Jones, as always, saw him with the ball a shit ton. Couldn't really convert from 3 in this one. That was a concern for him going into things, so just something to kind of watch there. They just weren't quite as impactful in this one, so not all that worried. Oh, Buddy Boeheim was out there. That's awesome. The Miami Heat, Jaime Jaquez, all right, we've seen enough of him. Take him out of Summer League. He's good to go, right? Like he's cooking at this point. Khalil Ware, I thought he had another solid game when I was watching him. Finished with 12 rebounds. That's awesome, right? Like we try to look out for the little things here. Larson still struggling to hit from 3 a little bit. Where are we at with Larson on threes? 2 for 10. 2 for 10, 2 for 10. Okay, gotta have a better shooting output than that, but it's Summer League. We're not too worried about it right now, but obviously we'd like to see better from him at the very least. But you know what else are we gonna do? Otherwise, that's kind of it for this game. The Heat just kind of beat the shit out of them. Pistons Rockets. Pistons were without Ron Holland for this one, so that one was a little bit lame to watch in that sense. Marcus Sasser hasn't been like all that great in Summer League so far. Can I get a Marcus Sasser update here? Where are we at with him? Ooh. Yeah, no, okay. My suspicions were confirmed. Hasn't looked great so far, but we've seen a lot out of Marcus Sasser just in like his first season with like Detroit and everything, so hopefully that can continue on into the regular season. Bobby Klintman continues to play pretty solid. I wasn't too big of a fan of Klintman, but he's kind of doing a bunch of things around the perimeter that I didn't really expect to see out of him, so I'll be curious to see where that kind of transitions to. Is he going to see like NBA minutes this year? Most likely not. There's too many people at his position ahead of him, but maybe an interesting developmental piece nonetheless for the Pistons. Obviously, we'd like to see Ron Holland out there because there's just so many developmental questions with that guy, but not going to get it in this one today. Going over to the Houston Rockets, Cam Whitmore did not have himself a night. This is where you see some of the scarier sides of Cam Whitmore at times. And Reed Sheppard, was it objectively a very good game? No, you can tell. Like, if you guys watched my video yesterday, I was like, okay, yeah, I figured out how to guard Reed Sheppard. Yeah, so did the Pistons. The Pistons knew exactly where to push him, and if you watch, they pushed him left a lot more in this one, which was a bit more of a struggle for him, but you just honestly throw it under the rug. It's fine. He's been playing fine up to this point, so I wouldn't think too much about it. But not the greatest game for Reed. Averages are going to come back down to earth at some point, but no, otherwise, like, you know, it could have been worse. And we've seen some good things out of him so far, so let's make sure we don't have recency bias at all times. Like, remember the first couple games? It's all good so far. Dallas, Memphis, this one wasn't quite as close either. This is where you start to see Summer League just get a little bit ugly, especially when certain players aren't playing in games. The Dallas Mavericks don't have the greatest Summer League team of all time. You got Maxence Prosper out there, who's not the most efficient offensive player to start with. He's trying to find his own out there, though, and we give him credit for that. He did play really good defense, in my opinion. Jinsa's a project of theirs that they took in the second round. Didn't hit today, but I don't know. I still think in a couple years, if you develop him correctly, he could be a decent wing for someone, especially because we've seen so much shooting out of him at the professional level. So we'll continue to kind of hope for that. AJ Lawson's another guy if you really wanted to kind of like tune in and watch. He's a guy that's played some roster minutes for them before, so could be someone to watch there. The Grizzlies in this one, GG Jackson, I thought looked really, really good in this one. One of the things that I noticed is maybe like the effort not being like a 10 out of 10. I think he's kind of just more so out there getting some reps in, and that's totally fine. That's Summer League. But, you know, he looked confident out there. He's attacking the rim, right? He's taking his time. He's getting to his moves. I know you guys saw him get to that right hand, like kind of spin move at the nail, a fall away shot. The 3-point shot always looks good. He gets set really easily. Scottie Pippen Jr. continues to impress me with how he plays. I just think he is kind of a decent NBA point guard at this point, so I think we should give him some credit for that one. Laravia continues to look pretty poised as well. Obviously, this is a pretty solid team. And Cam Spencer, that's a guy we've been watching up to this point. Where are we at on the Cam Spencer watch right now? 57% from the field, 52% from 3, still 1 for 2 from the free throw line, but still, Cam Spencer, kind of a sleeper so far at the 53rd pick, showing out in Summer League right now. Again, no correlation to whether or not that connects to NBA regular season at all, but it's something we point out nonetheless. We're going to praise you for having good games, and we'll help you through the bad ones that you have. That's the whole point of Summer League. Moving on to the next game. Portland and Philly. This was a close one. So this was an interesting one in the sense that, like, Donovan Clingan, like, he looks very rushed still offensively. He looks like he's still trying to figure it out in terms of scoring. What I really loved out of him today, how many assists did he have? 5. He had 5 beautiful assists then. There were so many times where, you know, I've been talking about in the whole pre-draft process, I'm like, this guy can be a hub eventually, and he hit so many guys for the right pass, and part of that is Philly was just, like, playing up too high for some reason. They kind of kept fucking that up. But still, like, he's looking, he's making plays, like, and that's awesome, right? Like, in some of his block shots, because he got 3 of them today, are still just people kind of running into him, so I want to make sure we're, like, clear on how a lot of these stats happened. But at the end of the day, like, he's seeing them, and he's making the plays that are being given to him, so I was excited about that one. Chris Murray still, like, you can tell they're like, dude, just get your shots up, and not falling right now, so maybe a little bit worried about Chris Murray. I don't know. I've just never really seen him be like a consistent player so far, so something to kind of watch for there. Justin Edwards, I thought, had a solid game overall. Just felt like he was contributing a lot. Adam Bona, I like him as a reserve big as a rookie, just run, jump, dunk kind of guy. You know, those are my favorite. Jared McCain was out there really trying to contribute. I loved the rebounding and the hustling out of him that I saw. I saw him grab 1 rebound. Who was it over? I don't know. It might have been Chris Murray or something like that. He really went up and got that one. And I was just like, ooh. I looked up from my laptop. I went, ooh. So good for him in that one. Obviously didn't shoot that great in this one, but trying to find ways to contribute. It looked like he was just being a vocal leader on the court, if nothing else. So that's always an encouraging thing. Utah Jazz, Sacramento Kings. Kings got the win in this one. Cody Williams, a solid performance overall. The 3-point shot didn't quite fall in this one. He at least looked a little more ready in this one, which wasn't hard to beat considering how the last one went. Taylor Hendricks, I think that's 2 games in a row we've seen Taylor Hendricks struggle. Can we get a Taylor Hendricks check for this one? Yeah, not looking great for Mr. Hendricks so far. The rebounds look great. Interesting. And 4 blocks a game. Really? Wow, that's crazy considering the fact that he has this. Interesting nonetheless. I must have kind of been overlooking that the past couple weeks, so shout out Taylor Hendricks, I guess. Filipowski, still just not a big fan of the way that he scores and plays. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't really do it for me. Like, it kind of gives, like, less interested Frank Kaminsky vibes to me, so I don't know. But Isaiah Collier, I'm going to keep giving the dude credit. Like, you can tell he's trying really hard not to turn the ball over. Armando Bacot's on this team? I didn't even notice that. Man, it just goes to show, like, the college game and the NBA game just does not, like, connect. Like, it's impressive how different it can be at the end of the day. The Sacramento Kings, what did we get from this one? Keon Ellis, how we doing? Ooh, no, I feel like Keon Ellis has kind of been struggling too. And again, most people do in Summer League, in all honesty. That's Keon Johnson. He's been playing well. Keon Ellis, field goal percentage has been fine. He's getting his shots up, and he's getting his threes up. It's just not falling right now. Like, I'd like to think in a more, like, reliable system. I'm not too worried about it, but just pointing it out that it hasn't been great so far. Boogie Ellis, his numbers kind of dropping, or his time on the court is dropping a little bit. Why doesn't Adonis Arms get no more minutes? Dude was hooping at the early parts of Summer League during the Classic and everything, so something to kind of watch out for there. And then the age-old matchup of the Celtics and the Lakers. We'll break down this one pretty briefly. Jordan Walsh, he was out there. He hasn't really looked that great so far in Summer League. I really like Keita. I think offensively he's still a little bit if he's not just run, jump, and dunking. So that's kind of Baylor Shireman, I thought actually still played a good game. I just thought the shots didn't fall in this one, so I'm not really tripping about that. That's just going to happen sometimes. Dude still looks really, really smart out there. Lakers have started to look rough a couple games in a row now. Bronny continues to not really shoot that great. I thought the defense was overall fine. Again, I didn't watch this one that closely. Every time I looked up, though, for a little bit, and mind you, I stepped away for the last, 5 minutes of it. I don't know, I'm not tripping about it by any means. And Dalton Connect, again, just trying to force it. He's trying to get his shots up right now, so that kind of is what it is. I wish, in the Summer League, they had a little bit more time to really get some cohesiveness together, and it's really hard. It's damn near impossible at the end of the day to build that kind of chemistry with all these random dudes that, at the end of the day, have their own agendas in Summer League. But, I don't know, nonetheless, I wish it was a little bit more organized, because maybe then we could find some sort of correlation. But anyway, let's move on to this. Any interesting stat leader changes for us to look at? Nothing I'm seeing all that crazy. Donovan Clingan continues to be high there. That's awesome. Otherwise, it's going to be Clingan and Edey in the blocks category. Okay, yeah, you can stop and look at it if you really want to. What are we noticing out of our boys here? Let's sort this one. Ooh, let's go to Z to A. Why don't we? Reed Sheppard continues to be at the top for a lot of things. He's kind of come back down to earth after this last game in terms of his averages, but still putting up some really interesting numbers here. We love to see that. Dalton Connect. Again, the efficiency not very good, but he's getting more attempts than the rest of them by a pretty hefty margin. He's also played in more Summer League games, actually, so that kind of checks out for that. AJ Mitchell and Bobby Clintman kind of looking interesting right now. Like, again, in terms of Summer League play, those two looking the best on this list. Maybe you could, well, Zach Edey, he's not really playing right now, but Zach Edey would also kind of fall into that. So, kind of interesting. Guys to watch. Cam Spencer as well. We'll give Cam Spencer a little bit of praise. So, anybody down here at the bottom? Okay, so yeah, Bronny James. Yeah, not looking great for Bronny. I'll still say I'm not tripping about it too much. I'm not tripping about anybody that's playing bad in this one. I'm not, and maybe delegitimizes that of Summer League, but what are you gonna do at the end of the day? Anybody else all that interesting kind of down here? I hope Cody Williams can kind of keep creeping up with this field goal percentage. That's one I care more about right now. Otherwise, nah, that's kind of it. But hey, I appreciate you guys tuning into this quick Summer League update and everything. I told you guys I'm going to try to cover it every single day, even if it's not the most interesting thing in the world. I just want to make sure I'm staying consistent and putting videos out for you guys while it's the slow season, but I know there's some sweats out there that still want to watch it. But hey, come hop on the Discord. Talk with me there. I'm happy to chat it up with you guys. I've been talking about some insider stuff, not too much, but you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. We've been talking about Memphis and some of the things there. If you guys have questions ever, feel free to ask me about that one. But hey, I appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.